What's happening? You know what to do. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And you can follow me on Instagram below. So the weekly roundup of Raw and Smackdown. So this is the review of Raw and Smackdown week of the 18th of April. So it starts with Seth coming out. Obviously, Seth does what Seth does. Seth freaking Rollins does. He laughs, he jokes, he sings, he dances. And then he called out Cody Rhodes to come out, saying basically to Cody had an unfair advantage at WrestleMania, so he wants a rematch because he didn't know that Cody was coming out in the beginning, so he had no time to prepare. So Cody was like basically sucking up the crowd. The crowd was on his side. They're actually cheering him, like sort of unlike it was in the AEW. They started to boo him, which I didn't understand. Still didn't understand why. But yeah, they're cheering him now, which is good. So Cody has basically accepted the match, and then Seth basically says in the main event, pardon me, in the main event, Seth says he's going to have an opponent for Cody, and it's going to be a surprise opponent. So we'll see who that was. I guessed it anyway. Then the first match was Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Great match as usual. The women can go, but in the end, Sasha won by I believe it was a roll up. They did a combination on Rhea Ripley, and then Sasha got the pin by roll up. And then I knew this was gonna happen. The writing was on the wall. Ripley started arguing with Liv Morgan, saying, "Where were you? I needed your help." And then what happens? Rhea Ripley turns heel and starts beating down Liv Morgan. I knew that was going to happen. So yeah, see what happens there. Sonya comes out saying she came out to the ring saying she's still a wrestler. She wants to be the best. She's been out for quite a while, I don't know, due to injury. So as her coming back, why not go after the biggest thing out there? Why not go after that EST? EST comes out and basically Sonya's like, "Hey, you touch me, I will fire you, I'll suspend you, I'll strip you." So then she started winding up Bianca. Bianca got her in her finisher move. I can't remember what the name is now. Someone correct me. And then she didn't hit it. She put her down. And then that was it. One thing I'll say, what is a bit weird, Sonya Deville was always going after African women. I have no idea. First it was Naomi, now EST. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so the next match was Veer Mahan. Veer Mahan basically squashed some guy. That's that. So we'll see what happens with Veer. Hopefully he's treated correctly and something does happen with him. Next, KO comes out helped by Chad Gable, trying to find out if Ezekiel is Elias, trying to do a lie detector test, which obviously Ezekiel passes and says he's not Elias, blah, blah, blah. So, and then it turned into a match. So it's Ezekiel versus Chad Gable in a match, 1-on-1. Pretty good match. Obviously, both of them are really good. Ezekiel does look in like great shape as well. He's ripped to shreds. So the match didn't end because Otis came down and started attacking Ezekiel, so it turned into a DQ. Then RK Bro come out. So it's RK Bro. In fact, it's RK Bro versus the Street Profits in a tag team match. Good match. It was a non-title match. Good match, but what happened near the end? The Usos music started playing, which distracted Riddle, and then the Street Profits won. I like the Street Profits' new attitude, the new edgy. They're a bit more angry, a bit more in your face, which I like. So Street Profits definitely keep it up. I'm liking this new attitude from the Street Profits. Whether it's a heelish type one, it is what it is. Then we had Austin Theory, but that's called Theory now, versus Finn Balor for the US Championship. Good match. Good solid match. Finn is obviously an awesome wrestler. Theory's really good as well. He's really good on the mic. I'm really impressed with Theory, to be honest. A lot of people don't like him, but I like him. I think he's really good. And in the end, Theory is our new US champion. I think there was no underhanded issues here. I think he did win this actually clean. And when he won, everybody, well, all the heels basically came out from the locker room and started celebrating with Theory. And Vince McMahon himself came out and took a selfie with Theory, so high hopes for him. Then we had the wedding segment where Tamina is getting married to Tozawa and Dana Brooke is getting married to Reggie. Obviously, the Master of Ceremonies is R-Truth. Was a bit weird because R-Truth was going through the motions, obviously cracking jokes, does what he does. Then he was like, if anyone has any objections, please talk now. And then Tamina started swapping partners. First she swapped with Reggie, then she swapped with then she swapped with Tozawa, then it was her and Dana, and then she swapped back to the original pair. And then basically a 1, 2, 3 sort of carnival started breaking out where Reggie pins Dana, and then Tozawa pins Dana, then Tamina pins Tozawa, I believe, and then Dana pins Tamina, and then runs off with the help of R-Truth. So yeah, that was that. So then Bobby Lashley was there, basically saying, going back and forth, talking with MVP, saying, hey, he knows Omos is a bad guy, obviously, but he's going to see how bad he is. And obviously, he's going to show him why they call him the Almighty, and he is the Almighty. Bobby Lashley is one of the best there. Main event was Cody Rhodes versus their mystery opponent. And who was it? Kevin Owens. Obviously, it was Kevin Owens. A good match between the two. Obviously, they both can go. Cody's a great wrestler. Obviously, Kevin Owens is a great wrestler as well. In the end, there wasn't a win because Seth was there, and then I think the match was getting a bit hard for Kevin Owens, and he started arguing with Seth, and he goes, "This is your fight." Then he walked off and got counted out. So that was that. On to SmackDown. So we had the contract signing with Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. A little brawl escalated, and then Ronda Rousey then started armbarring the interviewer. I forgot the guy's name. Dan Strack, I forgot his name now. He was in an armbar anyway, while Ronda Rousey signed the contract. So that match will be happening at WrestleMania Backlash. Then we had the Butch versus Xavier. So the Butch is the new stablemate of Ridge Holland and Sheamus, and obviously King Xavier. They haven't really been harping on the King much, his King persona, so they probably should bring that back, because if you don't do anything with the King persona from winning the King of the Ring, it just goes stale and no one cares anymore. So you should talk that up a bit. I know the injury he suffered sort of took a bit of steam from that, but he needs to get it back. But Xavier won that by a roll up anyway. Good win for Xavier. Then we had Gunther. I think his name is Gunther. He the squash guy. I think it's from NXT UK. He the squash guy. That was that. And then we had Jay versus Riddle. Really good match. Solid match by the two. You had Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief, the unified champion, watching this all along, sort of unfolding this match. You can see him like being happy, then not being happy. Then he wasn't happy with that. In the end, Riddle wins, and Reigns is not happy. Then we had a interview with Sasha Banks and Naomi, basically saying how they're killing the tag team division and they're doing really well. They are doing really well. While that happens, Shayna Baszler and Natalya both come out saying, hey, you won the titles from us. We want our title shot. Talk to me, ladies. So that will be probably at WrestleMania Backlash. That'd be a good match. Then we had Madcap Moss. Basically, he was backstage, and Baron Corbin was like, hey, let's get back together as a team. You could be my skip. You could be my sidekick. And Madcap Moss was like, no, I do not want to be your sidekick anymore. See you later. Today was Madcap Moss versus Angel from the Los Felios. I still can't pronounce it. And it was basically a squash match. Madcap Moss won. And then Corbin runs down and started beating down Madcap Moss and takes his Andre the Giant trophy. So it looks like there might be a WrestleMania Backlash match happening there. Then we had, so after Usos lost, then Sami Zayn came down and he tried to he entered the head of the table, Roman Reigns' locker room, with obviously the bloodline sitting in there. He was just basically trying to plead to them like, hey, I need some backup. I've got a match with Drew. It's a lumberjack match. Can I have some backup? And also, people have been talking bad about you guys. After he left, Roman was like, hey, people are talking bad about me? Okay, Usos, go get that. So that was that. And in the main event, it was Drew versus Sami Zayn in the lumberjack match. Also, obviously, all the lumberjacks were there. If you don't know what a lumberjack match is, there's all different wrestlers around the ring. You had heels and you got faces. There's good guys and got bad guys. When the good guy gets thrown out the ring, the bad guys will attack him or throw him back in, vice versa. So when that kicked off, the Usos basically came down, were at ringside watching, and then they started beating down RK Bro. because obviously they were talking. And then every week, Sami Zayn has been avoiding Drew, been running out the ring, and he managed to get away because all the lumberjacks were all huddled together fighting, and then Drew hit a moonsault, or a 360, whatever you call it, over the ring, assault over the ring, took out everybody, and that time, flipping, Sami just headed for the hills and got out of the match. Then Adam Pearce says basically next week Sami is going to be in a steel cage match with Drew, so there's no running. So that was Raw and Smackdown for the week of the 18th of April. That's your review. Yeah, I would go and watch it. I would definitely go and watch it. So like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can follow me on Instagram below as well. Take care.